why does life suck sometimes? Like, why does it really, really fucking suck sometimes? And why does it never seem to end? Where does suffering come from? Why do we keep suffering so much as men? That's what I'm going to talk about in this episode here. So welcome back to my channel. Very happy to have you here. I hope you're getting a lot of value from these videos. I know you will be getting value from these videos because if you're really listening, the things I'm going to share, I very much believe will help. And the reason I believe this so strongly is because I'm a man. You're likely a man listening to this. And we've had the same experiences. We often think that depression, anxiety, eating disorders, or other types of addiction, that these are unique to you. We think that we're alone. We feel alienated. And this channel is meant to debunk that, to say that's not actually the fucking truth, that I'm not actually fucked up. I'm going through a human experience that a lot of men have gone through, that most men have gone through. And everybody has some shit, right? Every man has something that they don't want people to know. They have something that if only that, their mom found out or their girlfriend found out or somebody they respect at work found out, they would feel embarrassed, right? They'd feel shame. And so we all have these things. And I am trying to bring these conversations out into the open to take away some of the shame around it, to bring some normacy to it. And I'm going to get into why I'm doing that in a second. So before I begin, if you vibe, subscribe. If you vibe with the channel, give it a like, give it a subscribe. But putting some energy back. I'm making these videos for free, and so it's always appreciated to, help me out, help the dude out. My goal is to hit 100,000 men in the next decade by 2033, which seems crazy. It sounds like such a futuristic thing. To have 100,000 men reconnect with their heart and to be living from their heart. And I have ways that I measure that I'm not going to get into now, but that's my goal, and it really helps when you share. So I would appreciate that. So getting into this, why does life suck sometimes? Well, I'm going to illustrate this with a story for myself. So I developed an eating disorder known as bulimia, where I would eat a bunch of food, like a lot of food. I'm talking like 6,000 calories in a meal. I'm talking like going to McDonald's twice, a pizza place, all in the same, 2-hour span. Like eating food way past the point when my body is like, dude, we're fucking good. We're full, bro. Like, stop. But my mind was still hungry. Now, why would my mind still be hungry? My mind was still hungry because there was a pain on the inside that was painful that my mind didn't want to face, and so it wanted to distract itself with some pleasure. It didn't want to feel that pain, which I was feeling shame, I was feeling guilt, I was feeling sadness, depression you could even call it, but I didn't want to feel it, so I used food as a way to escape that feeling. It was like someone was trying to cut me with a knife, so I took a bunch of morphine so I didn't feel it, but food was my way of numbing that pain. And we all have our own way of numbing it. We use technology like Netflix or video games, or we use porn or sex. We use always talking to other people, never having time for ourselves to escape being with ourselves. We use, what else do we use? We use drugs and alcohol. We use anything. Really, an addiction is just anything that we use to escape a feeling of pain that we know isn't going to help us in the long term, but it satisfies us in the short term. That's really what an addiction is, and that's Dr. Gabor Mate's definition. So, which is a pretty credible dude. So that's what an addiction is. And so there's no shame around that in reality, but we feel shame personally, right? And I say there's no shame in reality because everybody has their shit. And the reason why we suffer so much, back to the initial question, the reason why, life just sucks sometimes is because we've had painful experiences in the past that are still present inside of us. So it's not even that life sucks, it's that life isn't personal to you. Life is what it is. But when it comes through your eyes and events can remind you of painful things of the past, those painful things get triggered. And then that pain from the past comes up. So you're really feeling the past pain. You're not really feeling present pain. You're feeling the pain from the past. Does that make sense? So what's happening is when someone triggers something in you, when, for example, for me, I'll give you an example for me because I want to be vulnerable with you here. Back to my eating disorder. Is that I would feel social anxiety. I'd be around people. I'd feel anxious. I'd, want to be liked by people. I'd be tired of having to be somebody else. Really, I think that's what it was. It was just, I pretended to be somebody else to be liked, and that was so tiring that at a certain point in the night, I was like, fuck this guy. I have to go. I would be the guy that would leave early oftentimes. One, because I was feeling anxious. I didn't want to dance in front of people. But two, because I think it's so tired to wear a mask of somebody that you're not. It's exhausting to keep that persona up. And so I'd want to go home, and I would go home and I would binge eat on food to deal with the feelings of shame and anxiety that I felt within myself, that I felt during the experience out with friends, and then I would come back home and not want to face all that. You know, I wouldn't want to do a meditation and sit with my feelings. I wouldn't want to do some breath work. I wouldn't want to do some journaling. I wouldn't want to do any of that. I would just want to eat food and watch Netflix and escape, sleep it off, push it back down, start new the next day. And so that's what it was for me. It was basically trying to get control of these feelings inside by getting control of my diet and my exercise. It was really about my body. I felt if I could just get a six-pack, then I'd be worthy of love. If I could just get a six-pack, I would get the attention and recognition I've been craving for since I was a kid. If I could only do that, then I'll get the attention. I'll feel good enough. But you know what happened? I ended up getting the six-pack. I starved myself and bulimia'd myself into a six-pack, and it still wasn't good enough. I still felt the same feelings. So whatever feelings you feel in your life, I promise it's not something external that's going to fix it, and it's not something external that even causes it. Things in the external world can only trigger what's already within us. They can awaken or strengthen things that are within us. So for example, if you ever judge somebody else, if you look at someone else and you judge them, you say, oh, that guy looks egotistical, that guy looks arrogant, or you say that guy's a bit of a dick, or that guy's an asshole. And there's that judgment energy to it. You can notice something, because people are assholes. People are assholes. But you can notice an asshole and you can be like, yeah, that guy's a bit of an ass, you know what I'm saying? Bit of an ass. And you can say it with a different energy, but if you're like, that guy's a fucking, that guy's arrogant as shit. When you're coming with judgmental energy and you're pointing, whenever you point at somebody, 3 fingers are always pointing back at you, which means it's actually strong and alive within you. That same egotistical arrogance, it's within you. That same asshole or dick or whatever judgment you're making, it's within you. And so, anyways, the reason I'm saying all this is because I wouldn't deal with my shit in a healthy way because I had nobody to talk to. I had no reference points. I just felt like something was wrong with me. I felt like I had some sort of deficiency. How can I not just stop eating? Why am I so stupid? I can't just stop eating right now? Like, why do I have to stuff my face? I'd be so hard on myself. When in reality, I didn't realize that there was cultural factors. I didn't feel comfortable to share how I felt with men or women for that matter. And so I kept it all inside. I was the lone wolf. Maybe you can relate. Having an emotion and feeling like you don't want to share it, feeling like you're going to be judged for it, feeling really uncomfortable to share some of that shit. But my life didn't change until I actually went and sought out help, like one-on-one support. And then when I started to get into brotherhood and actually sharing how I felt, I was able to share what I'm sharing with you now in a more open way. I'm able to actually talk about these things without shame because I've accepted it within myself. Once you accept these things that you feel shame around, they kind of dissolve. They might still be there, the behavior might still be there, but the feeling, the shame, the emotions, those start to dissipate over time. And so if you're struggling with some sort of emotion, we can call it depression, we can call it anxiety, we can call it sadness, guilt, shame, anger. If there's an emotion that you seem to keep suffering with, I want to just remind you in this video that that emotion is from your past. And that emotion is actually going to be your greatest teacher. It's a guide. It's like someone just gave you a gift. It's Christmas morning. The anger, the shame, it came up and it's like, here's a gift. Here's your direction. Here's your map. I'm going to guide you back to connecting with yourself. Because when we feel these emotions that come up, oftentimes it was an emotion that we repressed. We didn't give ourselves space to feel. Or we were just too young and the energy in our body of that anger was just too much when we were 3 years old. And so we dissociated from our body. We brought ourselves, our consciousness, up above our body because we didn't want to feel it. The aliveness in our body was too much. And we didn't have parents that could teach us how to sit with that. And so, reminder to you to ask for help, to sit with your emotions, journal about them, be with them, and just really don't push them away. And notice if you do feel the urge to escape with porn or escape with food or drugs or alcohol or whatever, to just be at least conscious while you do it and not judge yourself. The way that I really truly ended my relationship with emotional eating was giving myself permission to eat whatever I want, but the only rule was I couldn't judge myself. And so I ate like complete shit for 2 weeks. I ate fried food, pizza for breakfast, desserts. I literally, every single desire I had, I satisfied it, but I didn't judge myself. And the shame would want to come up and I'd be like, nope, that's not the rule. I'm going to love myself through this. And what happens is once you get in tune with your body and you start to develop a relationship with yourself, you start caring for yourself. You start realizing, oh fuck, my body's actually full. I'm going to stop eating. You start listening to what your body is telling you. And oftentimes our body is telling you, slow the fuck down. Take a pause, take an evening for yourself and just write or journal or listen to music. You know, it's saying stop drinking a bunch of alcohol or smoking a bunch of weed, you know, because you're just disconnecting from yourself. What you need is time with clarity, with certainty, with awareness. And so that's really been the work that I've been doing. It's the work that I teach all the men that I work with and I have the privilege to connect with and serve, is getting in touch with the body, reconnecting with the heart, reconnecting with our inner child and our joy and doing things we love. That's really the work that I do. So I recommend for you, if you're willing to take up a challenge, is to take some time for yourself this week and think about what I've said, or if you have an idea from this video, write it down and apply it instantly. You know, take the time, do it now, because pushing things down is just going to perpetuate the problem. So I'll end it there. I could keep going. I can talk forever about this topic. It's one of the things I'm the most passionate about. But just so you know, you aren't alone. You know, like 6 million men in the US, depression. 1 in 6 dudes in America, anxiety. You know, and these are the people that have reported it or have been diagnosed. And most men probably don't even fucking share how they feel, right? So this is just the stuff that's been recorded. There's probably a whole lot more men that are dealing with this. Maybe yourself, you've never been to a practitioner to report you've had depression, but you actually feel it. So just please give yourself permission to not feel like an alien, not feel like you're by yourself. You know, I'm here on this journey with you, brother, and there's a lot of other brothers that are too. So thank you for your time today. I hope this was valuable. And again, if you vibe, subscribe for more videos like this. Like the video and share it with a friend that may need to hear this right now. And until next time, my friend, live a life that's true to you.